What is an objective truth? Before we define an objective truth, let's first go through real quickly an analogy of how thoughts, ideas, axioms, and objective truths are intertwined. You decide you're going to build a home. You're going to need materials to build that home. The materials to build your home, those are the thoughts. Those are the parts that make up the structure of the idea. The home, how it's built, how many rooms, this, that, and all of the things that go into making your home, that's the idea. The parts of your home that never need to be renovated, the parts of your home where you decide, where there's parts of your home that you're like, you know what, we could use more space here. You gotta renovate it, and but then there's other parts of your home that are just remain true. Those are the axioms. And the objective truths are the why you do any of it. You see, if the thoughts are the parts of the structure, the idea is the structure itself. The axioms are the ground that the structure stands on, and the objective truths are what hold up the ground beneath you. You'll fall immediately if you lose sight of these objective truths. And I mean immediately. Since the dawn of man, immediately. You lose sight of God as God, and you will fall immediately. I mean, in our own time, a man is a woman is a man, or at least they believe themselves to be. In parts of our society, when you look around at the world around you, look, folks, we, as a society, have made God absent in our society. Men aren't men anymore. Women aren't women anymore. I'm surrounded by weak men and feminist women. Weak men who think I work too much. Feminist women who think the same. Neither understanding that that's my job. And if you're a man, that's your job too. And if you're a woman, you have gifts that I'll never have. But that's not enough for you. Nope. You gotta have my gifts too, apparently. Yep. We get to create life. A miracle in itself. You get to you get to be the one that every son and daughter knows for their whole lifetime to honor. You know, women say they want the right to work. I say, you've had that. Have you not raised kids? Hell, I'm the one that goes outside and works. My wife has done the vast majority of raising our daughters. You think that's not a full-time job if done well? It is, if done well. If you don't just put your kid in front of a tablet, if you don't just send your kid off to some indoctrination camp, if you don't just send your kid off to some daycare that you don't know who's watching or who's taking care of your kid, if you use your own human agency to believe and act as if what you believe is true to be true regardless of the consequences, and decide to raise your own kids and take the education of your children seriously, that's a full-time job. I'm tired of being the biggest feminist there is. I'm tired of being the one that wants what's actually good for man and women. Mocked and ridiculed for it, but I don't care. You're wrong. Not my fault. And you don't have to get past Genesis 3. Genesis, the first book of the whole book, and chapter 3 of like 36. Regardless, you don't have to get too far before you see what man and woman are supposed to do. At least since the fall, which I can't control that. Look, I wasn't there. And the hubris in me says, if I had been there, I would have said, woman, get over here. Let's take dominion over this earth. The hubris inside of me also would like to think that if I had gotten distracted by this thing over here, and my wife, my female helper, was deceived and then deceived me, I'd like to think that I would say, God, I'm sorry. But I don't know, folks. In our own time, we're saints. We're all saints in our own time. We like to project our virtuous traits onto other time periods. All that to say, there are some objective truths that will always remain true. And those are the why of the thought, of the idea, and of the axiom. Why is this thought good and remain true for all of time? Why is this idea stood, this structure stood for all of time? Why has this ground never produced thorns? Why has this ground always remained fertile? The whys as to why they've lasted for all of eternity, those are the objective truths. God is God, man is man, woman is woman. It's just that way. And when a human believes in these objective truths, they will know what fertile ground to build their structure on, what parts, what thoughts to use when building that structure. to ensure that the ground, the axiom, the structure, the idea, and the thoughts, the parts, will last forever. Love y'all. Take care. Be blessed.